Hello, and welcome to Insight.Tech Talk, where we explore the latest IoT, edge, AI, and network technology trends and innovations. As always, I'm your host, Christina Cardoza, editorial director of Insight.Tech, and today we're joined by Autocanteen to talk about AI-powered self-service solutions. But before we get started, let's get to know our guest, Sergey from Autocanteen. What can you tell us about yourself and the company?
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Christina, for the invite. Yeah, Autocanteen is AI-powered self-checkout solution, and our solution mainly caters for food service industry, and we use computer vision and machine learning to identify meals or retail items very, very quickly and efficiently. As of today, we process millions of transactions for guests per month, reducing first of all the queuing. So because it's a very fast experience and very fast checkout, and that empowers staff members. We pretty much give the team more eyes, if you like, to do the job. And processing power. And Autocanteen is Autocanteen terminals are fully localized and live in the UK and Ireland and Canada, US, Czech Republic, Lithuania, Estonia. So that's our brief introduction.
Great. I love how you guys are focused on the food service industry, because when we talk about self-service, solutions, sometimes we're thinking retail, the self-checkout, in healthcare, self-check-in, things like that. But I haven't really seen it too much in the food service industry. And, this is not going through the drive-through and having AI talk to you through the drive-through. This is something that if you're online buying food, it's recognizing the food. It's using all this technology to help make the food service industry run a lot more efficiently. So that's where I want to start the conversation today, talking about the challenges that are facing food service operators in terms of, the efficiency, labor costs, customer experience, why self-service solutions was a great opportunity for this space.
Self-service solutions, they help to obviously maximize and enhance the capacity of teams during peak times. And previously, it wasn't before as AI self-service solution like Autocanteen. It wasn't possible to do self-service for transactions within hospitality because those products, they're not labeled and there are no barcodes on them. But with the technologies of like computer vision and machine learning, it's possible to identify them very, very quickly in a very similar fashion that human beings do, and present the total and so automate that process. The food service operators, they face the challenges because, like I said, that operationally the main challenge is that people tend to get hungry at a very similar time, and they all turn up for lunchtime or for breakfast all at the same time, and it's hundreds or thousands of people, and obviously you need to the challenge here, you need to serve them quickly with food, with meals, and then also to transact very very quickly so that it's not the food doesn't get cold and people don't waste time. So that's challenge number one. And also, if imagine if you're short on staff that day, and then it might be even challenging to cater. So we can talk about the labor costs as well, but it's always a present factor for any operation, for any team. But it's important to think how you can utilize that capacity in the best possible way to enhance the speed and customer service. So that's I think the main challenges that the food service operators they tackle during service times, and we with our solution we help them to remove some of that load on their shoulders and help them to get through that service quicker and more efficiently.
So to set the stage, because we're talking about sometimes in retail environments, or there's no barcodes in some of these items that people are picking up. So I'm thinking it's lunchtime. I run into a store to grab a sandwich. I make myself a salad or grab a cup of soup. There's no barcodes or anything on that. And then I go to check out and pay for the meal that I just created, and having to tell the food service operator at the end, what is it that I'm eating? How much of it have I got? And that will bog up the line for other people. Then it doesn't make it a quick, grab lunch and go type of situation. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's exactly the process that you described. And actually, the traditional manned checkout points, we know these metrics because we measure them, and traditional checkout points they take up to 30 seconds per transaction, and that is not very fast. So that means you get 2 customers per minute checking out via one checkout point, and we can do it with the automated solution times faster. So it's 3 to 4 times faster. We can see that one checkout point will process 4 to 6 customers per minute, and that's where the automation really shine, and that's where Autocanteen solution really can bring the benefit, because otherwise it's tricky to get the same speed and efficiency. If we talk about the times and if we talk about the performance, so our terminals, if we look at the transaction, they will identify everything within a second. So as you place the tray or retail items, the algorithm will take the inputs, and within a second it will prompt you the total on the screen, and then there is a couple of seconds to acknowledge the total and then pay for it. So a few seconds to process transaction, and so on. And we end up with a sub 10 seconds transaction from start to finish, and with the receipt. So it's the components within that transaction time. And some of the sites that we support, they process 2,000 people, not process. They cater for 2,000 people, and imagine how many, what kind of operation it is to feed everyone within 1 hour or 2 hours for that sort of capacity. And we, on those sites, we can see 20 to 30 people checking out per minute with our terminal. So we can see that 20 to 30 transactions land within the minute at peak time. And to achieve the same speed of service, it would require a lot more manned still points. The numbers just tell for themselves. And also another point of view here, and additional benefit, is that the customer experience in this journey is, if you can get through that the checkout process so much quicker, it only increases your satisfaction, because you do it in a very quick and efficient way, and your food doesn't get cold, and it's a nice magic, as some people see it, magic machine that processes your transactions in a frictionless way. So that's definitely a benefit to the customer service in there. From staff point of view, they imagine how powerful they can feel when they previously they could only process 2 people per minute. But now they're just, keeping an eye on the process that actually, processes 20 to 30 people, and they can do it all by themselves, just keeping an eye on the flow. So there are multiple benefits of such implementations.
Absolutely. I can imagine if I wanted to grab something to eat and it took a long line for me to get my food. Next time I grab something to eat, especially when you're coming for lunch on a rush hour and you have limited time, I'm probably going to go somewhere else if it takes too long at one place. So I can see the benefits both from the customer side and both from the business side. The customer getting their food in a timely manner and a manner that it's not cold by the end of it, and then the business being able to retain those customers for their next purchases. So that definitely sounds like a great solution in the food service industry. I'm wondering if you can tell us about some of the technology that's implemented in the Autocanteen solution that makes this automation possible.
Yes, absolutely. So, thank you for that question. We rely on fundamentally on like I mentioned, computer vision and machine learning, and so computer vision feeds the input into the algorithms, and then we do the analysis, the decomposition, and then classification and learning and so on. And the terminals, they are all interconnected. I mean, within the same site, within the same account, and once you've taught one machine, your other machines obviously follow the same knowledge. And all of this, all of the terminals, they are managed via a web-based admin panel. So you can make any changes to add products, pricing amendments, or view reporting, see how your sales going. So that's all available at your fingertips, and you get the information synchronized pretty much instantly. That's how the technological offering looks like, and those are fundamental components of the offering.
How do you work with technology partners in the ecosystem to make this happen? And I should mention Inside Tech Talk and Inside Tech as a whole were sponsored by Intel, but I'm curious how, because I know Intel has done a lot of work when it comes to being able to bring AI into these different solutions, and their hardware is making it possible to do this all in real time, make sure that it's high performant, high efficiency. So what is the value of leveraging partners in technology from partners like Intel?
Yeah, we're super thankful to Intel and to this partnership, because we have been relying on their components within our software and hardware. And one of the components that we use is OpenVINO. It's blazing fast, and we can pretty much make decisions and those computations on the fly, and it really shows the difference when comparing it to other this toolkit, OpenVINO toolkit, to other frameworks that we tried before. And we can only recommend it highly. OpenVINO has been an integral part of our solution for sure. And apart from this partnership, we have others that help us with payment processing, and on the hardware side. Work with vendors such as Elo Touch. They have also great products, a great platform that we run on, which also has Intel processors, and we prefer to run our applications on those processors. That's. In this Intel partnership has been super helpful for during our journey.
Yeah, that's great to hear. One thing that I love about the partners that you just mentioned is that they're always looking at what's on the forefront. So they're always staying on top of the latest trends. This AI technology space is changing so fast that they're always making sure that they're providing technologies and capabilities that allow their customers or their partners to future proof and to scale and be flexible to any innovations that are happening in the industry. I'm wondering if you can share any customer examples with us that highlight how Autocanteen works, in the food service industry. You don't have to name any names if you can't, but just to give us a picture of the benefits and the value and the impact that it's brought to industries and to customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I can share some case studies. So one site, for instance, in central London, it processes about £1 million a year and serving hundreds of thousand customers. And that site alone showed the dynamics. Like I said before, that it processes 20 to 30 customers per minute, and also it saved a lot of labor efforts needed for the transactional function, so they can focus on better customer service or be really helping elsewhere apart from being on the tills and doing very routine job. And also we can confidently say that it was measured that the queuing, so the solution saved thousands of hours in queuing time. So yeah, that's great KPI that we also rely on. And in terms of case studies and names, actually, I would be proud to share the name and also the award they won. So Restaurant Associates, part of Campus Group, and they are our great partner in the UK, and they have just won awards at Katie's prestigious award ceremony in the UK for food within food service industry, and the award was best use of technology by a food service operator, and that was for the implementation of Autocanteen and of our solution. So that was fantastic recognition, obviously for within the industry, and that's it was the best solution on the market.
Yeah, all the benefits that we've been talking about, all the improvements, it's no surprise to me that they would win an award for best use of innovative technology, because that's something that's really solving a problem in their industry, solving pain points. We see so many times companies try to implement technology for the sake of implementing technology. And this is more of implementing technology for the sake of easing pain points and improving customer experiences. So that's great to hear. Congratulations to, Restaurant Associates and Autocanteen as well for making that happen.
Thank you, Christina. That was great news for all of us, for sure. And we just welcome those awards to keep coming.
So how do you envision then, this food service industry changing? How will you continue to stay up on any of the latest trends and, bring more innovations to the forefront, that these awards and these innovations and these recognitions just continue on your journey?
Well, the food service industry, it will be definite. I mean, if we look at it through the prism of automation and what's going to happen in the next years and how these things are going to be optimized. Of course, we cannot say that every function is going to be automated, because hospitality, it cannot run without people, and it shouldn't. I'm a big believer about it. However, those functions that are very repetitive and monotonous, and where they can be automated, they will. And we are bringing this for the function of a transactional function, and we're bringing automation. And we can also see these efforts already, in the kitchen back of house. So, for example, for analysis for waste management, and there is actually some robotic companies that are not only challenging, but already offering the solutions how to make meals and prepare pizzas and so on. So the repetitive tasks, they will be automated for sure, but to a certain extent. Technology is not going to replace people in hospitality, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a really powerful statement too, because hospitality and these experiences, we still need that human element and that human interaction, but this is just enhancing those experiences to make the outcome and the solution better. So it's all exciting things. I know you were talking about how this technology is being used in the back of the house too, and some robotic companies trying to figure out how they can use technology to make meals. But I'm curious, beyond food service, are there any other industries that Autocanteen's self-service capabilities is going to be applied to, or any other areas that we can expect to see Autocanteen automate some of these tasks?
Absolutely. We are already helping on some sites within retail and micro markets to also enable, first of all, either fast transactions, or just enable 24/7 capability for unattended transactions. So where, for example, micro markets, where you just have some products around you, and there is a couple of terminals that people or guests, customers can always use. And those are the environments that we also help to that we bring the benefits with our solution. Our journey, it started in 2020, and it was during pandemic year. And we started working with Aramark, and they at the time they were looking for a fast and touchless AI self-checkout solution, and we had just that. And fast forward 4 years, and our terminals, they are helping operators such as Campus Group and Dussmann and Daily Rest and others to enhance their food service within banks, insurance companies, Ministry of Defense, factories, warehouses, entertainment parks, to handle peaks and aiding that 24/7 capability and impress customers. So that's it's been a great journey.
Great. Well, I can't wait to see how Autocanteen continues to transform other industries, as well as see some of this technology come, see it out in the wild and come to my own stores and retail places. So exciting to see you guys continue your journey. I recommend our listeners visit the Autocanteen website, get in touch to see how they can help you solve some of the pain points that you're having. So this has been a great conversation. Before we go, I just want to throw it back to you one last time. If there's any final thoughts or key takeaways you want to leave our listeners with today.
Oh, I just wanted to say thanks to Intel for the support on the journey, and for being such an amazing partner, and to contribute to our solution in a way. So thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us and for giving us some insight into Autocanteen and how you guys are serving up the future of the food industry. So appreciate your time. Thanks to our listeners for tuning in with us. Until next time, this has been Insight Tech Talk.